Today we will take you into the world of stories. Welcome to our channel. Where will World War III begin? This question sounds like something out of a science fiction movie. But in our increasingly interconnected and volatile world, it's a topic that many analysts and strategic thinkers are seriously considering. The idea of a global conflict is terrifying, but understanding the potential flashpoints isn't about fear-mongering. It's about awareness and encouraging diplomacy to prevent such a catastrophe. So, let's explore some of the regions where local conflict could, if mismanaged, escalate into something much larger. First, let's talk about Eastern Europe, specifically the situation involving Ukraine. This conflict is already the largest in Europe since World War II. It directly involves a major nuclear power, and it is drawn in NATO countries through extensive military and financial aid. The danger here is a direct confrontation between NATO and Russia. Imagine a stray missile hitting a NATO country, or a miscalculation along the border leading to an exchange of fire. Under NATO's Article 5, an attack on one member is an attack on all. This could trigger a rapid escalation, pulling in the United States, the UK, France, Germany, and others into a direct war with Russia. Both sides have vast nuclear arsenals, and the doctrine of mutually assured destruction is what has kept the peace for decades. But in a high-stakes, fast-moving conflict, accidents can happen, and red lines can be crossed, intentionally or not. This is why communication channels, even backit channels, are so critically important to de-escalate any potential incidents before they spiral out of control. Next, we turn our attention to the Indo-Pacific, a region buzzing with economic activity, but also simmering with tension. The primary flashpoint here is Taiwan. Beijing considers Taiwan a renegade province that must be reunified with the mainland, by force if necessary. The United States, on the other hand, maintains a policy of strategic ambiguity, not explicitly stating whether it would defend Taiwan militarily, but providing it with defensive weapons. A move by Beijing to take Taiwan would likely trigger a massive response from the United States and its allies in the region, like Japan and Australia. This wouldn't just be a localized battle. It would be a clash between the world's two largest economies and militaries. The conflict could cripple global trade, as the Taiwan Strait is one of the busiest shipping lanes in the world. Think about held devices, cars, and countless other goods. Many rely on semiconductors produced in Taiwan. A war here would have immediate, devastating economic consequences for everyone on the planet, long before a single shot is fired elsewhere. Another critical area in the Indo-Pacific is the South China Sea. Several countries, including China, Vietnam, the Philippines, Malaysia, and Brunei, have overlapping territorial claims in this resource-rich waterway. Beijing has been assertive, building artificial islands and militarizing them, creating what's known as a Great Wall of Sand. The US and its allies conduct freedom of navigation operations, sailing warships through waters claimed by China to assert international law. The potential for a naval or aerial incident is incredibly high. A collision between a US and a Chinese warship, or a downed aircraft, could be the spark. With multiple nations and their treaty obligations involved, the US has a mutual defense treaty with the Philippines. For example, a small skirmish could quickly draw in multiple world powers, creating a multi-front conflict across the Pacific. Let's shift our focus to the Middle East, a region that has been a powder keg for generations. The most dangerous dynamic right now is a potential conflict between Iran and Israel, possibly drawing in the United States. Tensions are high over Iran's nuclear program. Israel has stated it will not allow Iran to develop a nuclear weapon and has a history of conducting preemptive strikes. If Israel were to strike Iran's nuclear facilities, Iran would likely retaliate, not just against Israel, but potentially against US forces and allies in the region, like Saudi Arabia and the US. It could also attempt to close the Strait of Hormuz, a narrow channel through which a huge portion of the world's oil supply passes. This would cause global energy prices to skyrocket, plunging the world economy into a severe crisis and almost certainly forcing a massive US military intervention. This kind of regional war has all the ingredients to expand, pulling in other powers like Russia and China, who have their own interests and allies in the region. Now, let's look at a less discussed, but equally dangerous flashpoint. The border between India and Pakistan. Both are nuclear-armed nations with a long history of conflict, particularly over the disputed territory of Kashmir. There have been several wars and countless smaller skirmishes between them. The danger is that a future terrorist attack, which one side blames on the other, could escalate beyond a conventional border war. In a high-tension scenario, if one side feels it's losing a conventional conflict, the temptation to use tactical nuclear weapons could become a real possibility. A nuclear exchange between India and Pakistan, even a limited one, would be a global catastrophe. The radioactive fallout would spread across the globe, causing a nuclear winter effect, leading to crop failures and mass famine worldwide. It's a chilling reminder that a regional dispute can have planet-altering consequences. Finally, we need to consider the new domains of warfare: cyber and space. A third world war might not start with a bang, but with a click. Imagine a massive cyber attack that shuts down the power grid of a major nation, disables its financial systems, or blinds its military satellites. Attribution can be difficult, but if a country is convinced it has been attacked by another state, it might retaliate with conventional military force. The first shots of the next world war might not be fired on a battlefield, but in the digital realm. Similarly, space is becoming increasingly militarized. Satellites are crucial for communication, navigation, and intelligence. An attack on a nation's satellites would be seen as a major act of aggression, effectively blinding and deafening its military. This could trigger a rapid escalation on Earth. The lines between cyber, space, and conventional warfare are blurring, creating new and unpredictable paths to global conflict. So, where is World War III most likely to begin? As we be sin, it's not one single place. It's a network of interconnected hotspots, where a crisis in one region can have ripple effects across the entire globe. From the trenches of Eastern Europe to the shipping lanes of the South China Sea. From the deserts of the Middle East to the disputed mountains of Kashmir. The potential for miscalculation is everywhere. And now, we have the added complexities of cyber and space. The key to preventing a global catastrophe lies in diplomacy, clear communication, and a shared understanding of just how devastating such a conflict would be for all of humanity. It's a somber thought, but being aware of these dangers is the first step toward ensuring they never become a reality. Thanks for watching. If you found this analysis thought-provoking, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into global affairs. Stay informed and stay safe.